Hey, welcome back to News Pulse. Look, I had to come and give my reaction to the recent visit with President Zelensky, who's the president of Ukraine, coming here today to talk with President Trump about the mineral rights that should be given over to the United States to pay back the $350 billion debt that Ukraine owes for all of the weapons and the money that was sent to them. And then the second reason he was coming so that they could discuss a potential ceasefire or a peace deal. But this just turned into a straight verbal brawl. And I'm not sure if it wouldn't have turned into a straight street fight, because it was absolutely appalling. I give my thoughts about both sides, whether they're right or whether they're wrong. I'm going to tell you the straight up truth, and it's going to be no holds barred. So President Zelensky came today, and I don't know about you all. I had some reservations anyway when they said that he was coming. I didn't really think that it was genuine. I thought that he was coming just as a small gesture of diplomacy, or just to maybe see what he could get out of it, right? So this discussion in the Oval Office, it was going pretty well at first, but then you could kind of see President Zelensky, getting a little just intense, or a little, just a little upset. And then, you had Vice President Vance, he stepped in and he said his few words. But at the end of this, I want you all to tell me, do you think that America should continue to give international aid at the expense of the United States in the condition that we're in? Okay, what I'm saying is that we are $33 trillion in debt. We are in a deficit. And if we continue to give international aid and neglect the United States, I think that is an absolute travesty. I think it's disgusting. Remember, we got healthcare to look after. We have infrastructure. We have our economy. We have so many things that we need to restructure. We are in such disarray in this country right now. And to have President Zelensky come over and want to make demands that are not even in his purview. You have to be in demand in order to make a demand. And when you come over here and you expect all of these concessions, I think it's absolutely ignorant, it's immature, and it makes no sense. And for the far right politicians, as well as the middle liberals and the far left liberals, who are yelling and screaming and chomping at the bit, saying that America should still support Ukraine in this senseless war, because it's not going to end. It's not going to end. There is no foreseeable path to its end. President Zelensky and his administration, they do not have the answers. And for America, in my assessment, my thoughts, if you keep pouring money into a black hole, what you're going to get out is nothing. Because Ukraine is symbolically, to me, they are the Bermuda Triangle. America is going to continue to go in, and we're not coming out. And it makes no sense. Take care of your own house first. That's what President Trump and this administration, along with some in the Senate and Congress, that's what they're trying to do. We have to deconstruct in order to reconstruct. But let's go in and let's hear what the conversation was like and how it turned heated. And then I'll come back and end this reaction.
Speaking about what do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around forcing conscripts to the front.
And you can see the defiance in President Zelenskyy, because when you get in to fold your arms, that means that you are closing yourself off. And he looked like he got an attitude because Vice President Vance was telling him about the diplomacy and also being disrespectful. And it's absolutely, you don't come over here to this country when you know you are at a disadvantage. You do not have the upper hand, President Zelenskyy. You don't have the upper hand. And you should be ready to concede. You should be in a place of deference. Be humble. And then just the way this is, you could just his body language, it says it all, because he really does not want to give up, in my opinion, any mineral rights. And then he wants more concessions with Russia, so that because he wants the protection of the United States. But at this point, it's no need for the United States to try to make that commitment when we are in the condition that we're in. Keep going.
Lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count one.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that's trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You
Wait,
will not have
right
Don't.
President Zelenskyy, you have the unmitigated gall and audacity, the response to Vice President Vance to say that you America, you not feeling it now, but you will feel it. To me, that seemed like a veiled threat. I mean, seriously, it's just like in real life. If you are, disenfranchised as an individual and a family member, friend, or associate decides to assist you, and look, they've been assisting you with finances, with food, with gas and all this type of things, and all of us have been at that place at some point in our life where we've needed someone. And when you've needed someone, most people will see that as, you know what, this person did not have to help me, but they decided to come to my rescue. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to take advantage of them. We've been giving to Ukraine for years. And then to give the $350 billion to them with no guarantee, and that was from the Biden administration. If you're giving somebody that much money, you mean to tell me that you were not intelligent enough, or those that are around you in the Senate and Congress, nobody said, we need a guarantee. The UK did, the European Union, he got money from them, but they asked for a guarantee. And to sit here and then make a veiled threat like this, sir, you are absolutely out of line. Keep going.
Tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that. Remember this. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very
you will
good.
Feel influenced.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influenced.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing
cards.
cards.
Right now, you don't.
We're
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're playing
I'm very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
What do you
You're
think about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War III. And
Yeah.
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with all
back to
respect to
you.
you.
Far more than a lot of people said
Very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting, have
today.
you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Stop it right there.
You think that
That's exactly what I just shared in a very everyday sense of this same thing. When someone helps you, you're supposed to be thankful and grateful. And when they help you, you look for a path forward so that you don't need you don't need them to be enabling you, and you don't need them as a crutch. And America, we have absolutely enabled a lot of these countries. And it is absolutely sad. Now we are in a terrible position economically. We're facing inflation. We're facing high interest. If we continue to give international aid to some of these countries that have no clear path to advance, like a vice president was saying, was like, you know what, you have people, but you know what, you don't have the military personnel that you need. There are a lot of things that they need to put in place. Yes, they have some people, they have technology. Yes, they have some military, but their military might is not as advanced as Russia. And that was one of the reasons why America came in to help. Look, President Zelenskyy is not in NATO. And we have to ask the question, Ukraine applied for NATO in 2008. Why haven't they accepted Ukraine into NATO? They applied again, I think it said in 2023 or 24. What's taking so long for NATO to accept them? Now, America is in NATO, but why should we obligate ourselves to a dead situation? This war is a money pit. And it's disturbing. I'm like, but for him to come, he should be coming in a manner of humility. Because again, I don't know about some of you, but we know when we're helping family members or friends, you're not going to keep carrying them, because why? You're going to put yourself in a deficit. And when something occurs in your life that you need those resources and reserves for, you're going to have to say, I got a cutoff point, beloved, baby, I got a cutoff point. I can't help you anymore. But some people, instead of them saying, you know what, I thank you for helping me, or I thank you, for giving me strategy, and I'm putting together a plan so that I can stand on my own 2 feet. And they're grateful, but some people are not grateful. They get absolutely angry, and this is what I'm witnessing. This is what we're witnessing right here. We're going to end this. Let's finish this on out.
if you will speak very loudly about the war,
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military equipment.
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me.
equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over In 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I tell you.
Just say thank you. Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards. You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me. That wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
Now, I want to make a point about what was just the exchange. I don't agree with President Trump that he should allow it to be litigated before certain media outlets, because we all know legacy media, they do not give unbiased reporting. They give biased reporting. And so that's the one thing I did not agree with. I think they should have went in private, like Vice President Vance suggested, because it's going to be an issue. They're not going to report it correctly. They're going to say, oh, President Trump and Vice President Vance, they ganged up on President Zelenskyy, and they won't even address President Zelensky's his disingenuous, his attitude, his behavior. He, appears like he's, he can make a demand, but like I said, you're not in demand, so you can't make a demand. And furthermore, you're in a war that you cannot win. You're not going to win, no matter how much money is given over to them. Look, we know that Poland, the Baltics, has given money, and the UK, but the other people that are in the European Union, like Germany and France, they're standing back with their hands folded. Why? Because they're smart. They're saying that, know what, we cannot give any money and military equipment to you. If we keep doing that, then we're going to be at a disadvantage. We're going to be in a place where we're vulnerable. Now, everybody wants to try to reserve this, the diplomacy between, Russia, because most of the countries are doing business with Russia. But at the same time, we cannot keep stripping ourselves when we don't even have the money to do so. That is absolutely ridiculous. And President Zelenskyy, he just needs to concede, be humble, just follow through with what these steps are, and then maybe you can get an agreement for security protection. But you're not in NATO, so we're not obligated. But here's the other thing that I'm going to say and end this. The United States has obligated themselves because we are seen as a superpower. And I think they did that, to such a degree that now all of these countries that we help, a lot of them, not all of them, because some of them know that the spigot is being turned off. So they're saying, you know what? It's no need to cry. You know what? They helped us, and we've been helped over the course of years. So now we need to stand on our own 2 feet. But countries like Ukraine, they like, no, and these far right buffoons and these middle and far left buffoons, some of them, they're sitting here berating the president of the United States and the vice president. How dare you? You have the unmitigated gall to sit up on a television and berate them because they're standing for America? Are you serious? You are absolutely committing mutiny. You are in an internal sabotager. That's what you are. You far right buffoons and you middle and far left buffoons. Some of you are ridiculous. It is absolutely, utterly disgusting to see this. So I want to hear what you all think about this, because this is my take. Shalom, everybody.